So we'll have a look at what we've got on. So just off of the stream over there with Trade the Pool. So what have we got on? Just having a look at what might be on the scanners. Oh, it's pretty quiet. EBS is still kind of on there. We're having a look at that. EBS. So we're going to do a little bit here. Take a look. Might have a look at the NQ as well. See what those futures are doing. And in the meantime, we will then take a break and come back and see what happens with Nvidia. All eyes seem to be on that at the moment, so it looks like the main big caps are kind of just chilling out at the moment, I'd say. What do we got here? So EBS has got its liquidity board all the way down here. I can't really find a nearer one that would be workable for us. In terms of just a regular, if you was interested in shorting just any front side, that's underneath these kind of stair steppers. They're just two moving averages, and that would have just kind of confirmed. But even if I am looking to short any old front side area, bearing in mind we're kind of above everything but those moving averages right now, is that I would like to see this level that I see as a key level, a very key level to trade off from, which would be a sell side. So if we can break that area, that's kind of looking to get up there to 350 and daily levels above there even at 550. But as I was saying earlier, I think this is going to pause here for a little bit, perhaps for today, come down and rest here, but I wouldn't class that as a dead cat bounce. I would class that as potential to go much higher than where it is right now, certainly by a couple of dollars. I don't know what the news is on EBS. I can't see. What have we got here? Did I have a look at that? Is that the one that was presenting at some? No, they have appointed a new CEO. So nothing too great, not unless the other one was really, really bad. But yeah, so that's EBS. So ideally, I'd like to push up to 3 in order to short, but as just confirmed under these moving averages. So if you're going to get a backside of this up move like the front side, you can see that it just kind of holds. So at the minute, this is kind of a tiny little bit of consolidation after the bigger push down. I always prefer that lower risk trade, which is trying to wait for it to get back to 3, risking 25 cents rather than 269 and having to risk like 55, 56 cents. So, but yeah, it's it looks pretty shortish with this consolidation coming after this move here. So that is EBS. EBS. I'll have a quick flick through these. I'm not seeing much go on here. All pretty sideways. Yeah, so Tesla have its move. I'm hoping Tesla comes down to this 193.40, 193.40 level. It would have, yeah. I'd continue drawing this down all the time. It drags down, so it keeps going lower. The liquidity pool is going to come lower and move with it. So at the minute, it's sitting up there at 197.50. So that would be that. Now let's look at the other small caps we've looked at this morning, which is kind of like, what do we have? Over was yesterday. I was looking at that for a short. I don't think that was on the cards today, was it? Oh, it's on the cards for a retest of benchmark 2. Yeah, no short on that today. So that's going pretty nice, pretty supernova. This again was a 2-minute short. The daily level was there, which when you look at it, only anything bigger was kind of looked like it held. It was just a wick up. What was it? Yeah, so we zoom in there. It was like it closed beneath that benchmark too. I was like, well, okay, so the 2-minute worked, the daily's kind of worked, and we're playing off to the side, but we didn't break that buy side liquidity pool. It held very early on, and then it held again. So that's what we're looking for. Just draw these levels up and ping down into it here. Just is that actually, is that the rectangle? Is that, oh, we're just off it. We are just off it. We're off it by 11.69, 10 cents. We're off it by 10 cents there. And then this next one was, yeah, just shy of a couple of cents, but still, that you get the idea. It's propping it up. It's propping it up, and that's what we're looking for if the buy side is going to continue. And sure enough, it propped it up enough where the buyers come in and have run it into benchmark 2 again. So at this point here now, again, we're kind of looking, you've just had the close underneath the stair steppers, I'll call these. You know, they're just stepping up. You close under those. That's what you've got, is a potential short on your hands. Now, if you did want the lower risk entry, obviously waiting for the lower risk entry sometimes means you don't get in. Now, bear in mind, this wasn't far off, because we come from here down to here, back up to here. So it was literally a couple of cents off of that sell side liquidity level. So if you want to be selling 14s now, that's just confirmed on this candle prior. So it confirmed at 14.40. I'd still rather it come back 14.80, but that's just me. So I'd be looking for that. What else we got on here? So I'm bringing that down because that looks okay. Where did you go? So over Luna, we looked at earlier, seeing if we could get a pop to 11.30. Seems to be working its way. So it's certainly come out of this level, working its way up, being held by the VWAP at the moment, and a beautiful play off of this retail level right there. A little close underneath that candle there. Could see you come down for more. Actually, if I draw in this, where are we looking? Lower. Okay, so 9. So it's the same area to retest. I won't redraw it in again, but it's effectively there at the top of the benchmark. I over seed. Yeah, the short was up. The short was off of. Don't know if we even made that, did we? Bringing that down to the low. No, not quite. Didn't make that one, but that's a nice level there after 200 EMA. For reversal, what else have I got? SOGP is making a little push. So that broke through its buy side liquidity pool. It's just making a push to the VWAP. What have I got from the lows? If I was to cut from the lows, yeah, you could go again. It's up there at 560 for a short of 720, but we'll see what the action gives you. Retail shorts, was this, what is this? No, it's not really a round number. I would have thought they would have gone more for 540 or 550 on SOGP. CNAY is really off the radar now. It's back down to where it come from. Double top into the benchmark in pre-market, never look back. Got to be up earlier to catch these plays. There's just shorts all over the place in pre-market at the moment. Another one here. Benchmark back down to liquidity pool, and liquidity pool is just kind of hanging on by its bare teeth. SMOTS PANW is also not small cap. That's something we was looking at in the previous stream. But what was I calling out in the previous stream? That do nothing in this box because you just feel like you are getting manipulated because it was that best execution area with a zone around that. So hopefully that's kept you out of trouble. And then we looked at SEDG. So best execution hit earlier on. That is the switch on. So don't really like that too much to cut any data from. But yeah, pretty much sideways off that. Walmart, I was thinking that may do something. I was thinking Walmart may do something here. Yeah, so Walmart, I was looking to get down to its buy side liquidity pool, which it done straight off the open, and then we've sideways since. So that might be job done for Walmart today. It had earnings yesterday. So did Home Depot. Oh, it's funny that Home Depot's actually gone for it today. I actually thought that was going to fade off to its buy side. Oh, there was two, wasn't there, on that? Yeah, so it did come to get it, and then that's gone off. That's had a better day than Walmart, though. And Roku. Oh, smack bang in the middle of this. Yeah, so nothing to do on that. Hood. Just moving out. Did we have another level above there on Hood? Yep, we do. So it looks like that could be a slow burner on Hood. Yes, we're breaking above all these moving averages, and my key one is to kind of get above up here. Yeah, so that looks good to 14.05, 14.10. That's all good there. Now, what else have I got? Let's have a look at the cues, and then we'll move on to some okay, so not really. So looking a little bit kind of pull to pull. So buyers held that level down below, and the sellers held here. Also worked that level and now coming out. So kind of trapped beneath. This one was the initial swing earlier. That's now negated because we broke that low. So now trapped between the two basically. And that's on a 1 minute chart. And we've been there since the open. So yeah, no wonder it's quiet today on all the stocks. Because the egg or the chicken, isn't it? The stocks should dictate the index. Stocks are quiet, index is quiet. Shouldn't be the other way around. So first swing, pinpoint, full move, not so, but all levels of liquidity taken there now, but we will probably see us just bounce in between the two. So that's what I'm actually, no, that is negated. The new level is this guy here. Okay. So that's kind of what I'd be looking for. Whether we get it or not until later is another thing. We just don't know. All right, let's have a look, see if we can't get some NQ going. Who's on? Okay, let's have a look. Who wants to look? So that's all I'm looking at the moment. Let's just check that EBS. Do I want to EBS? Mara. Did Mara come off 2360? Oh, it broke 2360. I had a level of 2360 up to, yeah, let's say 24. So just under 40 cents there for that move, and then we're now coming back down to it here. So I would see if we're going to continue to hold buy side liquidity pools on Mara, It's going to be sitting right here at 23.50. Down there. Okay. There we have it. Right, let's have a look at the NQ. Have a look at some futures and see what we have on the future side of things. Anything to execute? No, it looks obviously the same as the Qs. Just a mishmash. Don't want to really get involved in there. You really are kind of trying to anticipate something that's going to happen later, I imagine. Or it could just be a nothing day, right? Everyone's pumping themselves for an NVIDIA release, and then, you know, sometimes it just doesn't happen, but we'll see. We'll see later. I think, like I said on the other stream, I think it's going to be, if you look at what Tesla, what NVIDIA has been doing is been beating expectations. So the expectation is X amount, and well, let's have a look what it is. So we're going to have NVIDIA earnings. What have we got here? Is there a lot of chat on it? I expected to talk about NVIDIA's networking. Yep. Oh, I'm actually looking for, there we go. Earnings calendar, NVIDIA. Estimate. Oh, they're not giving me an estimate. They've given me an earnings per share estimate. That's a bit of a nonsense. I want the earnings calendar, thank you. Let's see if NASDAQ can give it to me. So earnings per share, they reckon 421. No, it's still not giving me what they beat it by. So, okay, so January 2023 was a surprise, 35% surprise. April was a 44% surprise compared to the forecast, 38% in July and 24% in October 23. So I think, what's the forecast? Yeah, 4.44 earnings per share. I'm looking for the revenue. We're just talking about, I think it was an increase like 24 billion they wanted in the revenue for that quarter, which is absolutely huge, and it's a huge expectation. But I think that's what it's going to be. It was the fact that it was surprised by double digits every time, that if it just meets the expectation, that won't be deemed as good as the last 4 quarters. If it even meets it by, you know, beats it by 10%, that wouldn't be as good as what it has done in the last year. So I think it's how much of a surprise it is. If it was a surprise by 50%, like the biggest ever surprise it's had, then obviously that's going to be great. But I think that's how it's going to roll. So yeah, really nothing to do on, you know, we are looking at 1 minute. What's it look like on a 15 minutes? Just nothing, surely. Yeah, okay, nothing to do on NQ. The other one I'll look at is the IWM, which is actually the Russell 2000, and that's the same. So because small caps are quiet, so Russell being top 2000 smaller cap stocks, EME Russell. So we expected to come down here. So this was kind of the Russell trade in accumulation, out of accumulation. Then we get this nice trade here, a pullback for another entry. When we break that buy side liquidity pool, that's the next nice trade you can go for, down to the benchmark. And that's where we're sitting, in the benchmark, overlaid with a liquidity pool from the big move up, from that move up to this move down on the Russell. And everything is there. Everything is there. So kind of aligned. The Russell is there doing it. The Qs, I haven't looked at the SPY today at least. The Qs are sitting in its buy side liquidity pool and just touched its benchmark. So there was the trade kind of here. Similar trade going on there. SPY. Okay, so I didn't draw it in on SPY, but I can almost guarantee it is in that liquidity pool as well. Yeah, so it's just toying with that front side of it. And there are 3 levels, 1, 2, and 3. 3 key levels. They all are independent. I just box them off. It's just gives me a much better visual. But yeah, we can tap into one, come out, tap into another one, a little bit further in, all the way in, and still work our way out of it, and it's classed as a good hold. It's just how we play it. So we can, it depends what type of trader you are, but clearly if you was looking at your first rejection bar here, you would have been tapped out if you put your stop beneath the low, but you should be putting your stop below here, and you should kind of work that accordingly on your risk, because that's always possible. But obviously on the SPY, you would have got in somewhere near the low of day on this candle as well. We retested again. So that's what I always wait for, is that first retest of the liquidity pool the other side. So if these were all adhering to sell side liquidity pools were all working and buyers were failing, this was the first time the buy side liquidity pool held. So up we go. And you went up. It was the lower day. You went up to the close. So that's a decent trade. It's just that we're looking on that higher time frame, and then if we run that low all the way to that high, you can see now we're holding in that level there. So we've got another buyer's hold level that we've just pulled out of. Now the only difference with this time is you still have the sell side from this most recent high up there to this, the most recent last high up here, holding this level here. Okay, so that is the difference, is we now have the buy side. I'll draw it in actually because it makes sense just to see how this plays out for later on. Yeah, so generally the key for anything that happens here on out is this one. Can we break this one? And then to the upside is, can we break this one? Now, bearing in mind the move we've had, we are in a buy side liquidity pool that can make the market turn. We will be very near a benchmark if I was to draw that out as well. So I think we've kind of got a double whammy down in this area. These are the smaller ones that you need to break, but that's certainly what's trapping everything at the moment. If you're looking at SPY, there's just not a lot to do. Same if we are on ES. If you're not trading it as an ETF and you're trading in the futures, you'll see it's exactly the same thing. There you go. So you got your level there, buy side, and the most recent sell side, I imagine, is almost exactly the same. Yeah, so it's this one first. You can drag it down to the low, but there's another one here, you know, but this is generally the level that we're talking about. Sell side liquidity there. So again, so everything is just trapped. The stocks are trapped. The indexes are trapped. The only thing that should be working out really is the small caps, but even that, yeah, they do have a life of their own. But the Russell is the index of all the small caps, and that's pretty trapped as well. So EBS, there's your short playing out to some extent. So didn't quite make this. This was the confirmation there at 286, which got retested, which now has gone down to 258. So some 30 cents in that for you there. I still expect that to come off, right? I still think that can come off all the way down here to 210. It's just a case of how it does it. But if it's proper backside, literally these yellow stair steppers can just hold it. So here is, you've had your momentum, you've got your consolidation here. Can it continue to drop out of that? We will see. So we're going to have a go now, is it? It's going to have a go now. So bear in mind, front side of any play, which this is it double top? No. Front side of any play. Oh, this is the one that's actually got a huge, could go right up to 550, isn't it? So the front side play long is here. Right here. And it's usually a red to green move, which hasn't confirmed at this point. So we've got this consolidation down here. And if you can close a candle above that consolidation, which is really only above 260, or you can take it as a close above the stair steppers here on the moving averages, either way, retail buyers will look to get in this play, and it's not a bad retail buy. Like, these have played out consistently, but if we are backside, then it will fail. But that's a good indication when you see this here. You've got VWAP has just failed, so a color move, a color change within these two moving averages alone would be it. You've also got a VWAP reclaim trade potentially on the cards, and that's the risk you take longing a stock that has literally kind of dropped from 320 to 250. So yeah, if that closes up here above 260, that would be a confirmation retail long. I would have my target in. Yeah, so we may never get this one, but if I'm looking at the most recent swing, we'll see what holds at that level. So what I'd like and what you get is completely different. There is a buy side liquidity ball down here that sometimes we can rest in. So literally we could just fade off this. What am I doing here? Yeah, we could just fade off this and work our way down to it, and then rest forever until it comes back on the scanners. Or it could at some point say, okay, if I can work my way back out of this, I want to retest one of these sell side liquidities. But if you actually break above, then you could go daily benchmark 1, pull back, or you could go daily benchmark 1, daily benchmark 2 in quick succession, and then come all the way back down. Now, you never know, but that is how small caps can play out. At the moment, this looks like the day one spike, and we could see this one play out. Yeah, so the more, like, if you're literally into trading EBS right now, that has just confirmed long side, and they're taking a little bit of heat. Watch out for the double bottom. The first time into the moving average, the second time into the moving average, and then the break of the VWAP can see a better momentum play to the upside. All right. Dun, 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 dun. All right, so I mean, don't see anything else going on, to be honest. VYTX. Yeah, mate. Keto, how you doing? Yeah, it is. There is nothing on. I mean, Tesla was the only thing that kind of gave something this morning, and that was at a higher level than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, it's not a lot. I think it might take a break. What time are you? Yeah, it did. It did, as it always did. Hey, I like your sound. I see your sound checkbox at the top right there. It's good that apart from your dot, I don't know what's the dot. M.O.T.S. Is it because you are kind of trying to make it say MOTS rather than MOTS code wise? Yeah, it literally says M.O.T.S. Oh, right. I see what you're saying. So for you, it says MOTS. For me, it's saying M.O.T.S. Okay, mate. No worries. Just a little bit of QA testing for you. But yeah, I don't think anything else. What time's the earnings? It's at 5. Is it at 5 Eastern? Cart is coming off. Cart is coming off. Is cart coming off, or cart's been halted down? Is it halted? No, it's not halted. 28.62. I'm not going to play it like a bracket order or anything. Oh, look at it. It's 10 p.m. for me, that release. If it's 5 p.m. It's not the best time to trade, is it? But you do that kind of every day, like dodgy hours, don't you? It's let me think here. It's is that price moving on cart? Yeah, it is, isn't it? 28.61. Oh, there you go. There you go. God, that looked like it was halted, but it's not. But did it halt? No. No, it didn't halt. Yeah, even the halt scan has been incredibly quiet today, isn't it? So yeah, it's 10 p.m. I'll definitely have a look. I'll be intrigued. I'm more intrigued to see what it does to the rest of the market because everything seems to be resting today. And let's have a look at it. Yeah, I mean, what can you do? It's like craziness. It surely can't keep that. Even if it beat expectations, it would need to beat expectations by like 40%, I think, to come out to the upside. But I'm kind of feeling I feel like it wants this level down here. I think it's going to break this buy side equilibrium. When it does, it's going to be quick down there. If that's the release, bangs down into there and then works its way out. It's the same for me. It can work its way out to the upside. I'll just be pulling benchmarks on it to the downside. So I'll run the benchmarks to the downside. That'll give me more of an exact level. But yeah, it makes sense that he's got to have some correction. And if a bad news catalyst is the only thing that's going to stop it, I'm more a believer in the buy the rumor, sell the news. So yeah, I think that the price action might be giving you an indication, but what do I know? What do I know about what's on the Nvidia's report today? Are you, mate? You're gonna ride by the seat of your pants. You're gonna if Nvidia's climbing up as earnings come out, I'm jumping in without blinking, ride or die. Sounds so you wouldn't do the same if it was going down? Like, literally, are you that much of a bull that you will not short at all? That could dump like $50 to the downside. What are they not? What about your TCP trade the bull one? They must have set you up by now, surely. Or not enough risk to trade a one share. That's 679 a share. Ooh. Oh, so the eval starts when you start your first trade. Good man. Yeah, we long and short everything. Will you take the pre-market, the 4 a.m. pre-market longs and shorts? Yeah, I agree. It is at the minute. It's not a lot else. Iova's making new highs now. All right, not new highs yet. 1532. It's at 1516, but it broke the pool. Broke that pool. What, Iova? Yes, I thought about taking over. Sorry, I missed the ticker. I thought about taking over and swing trade, and when it first showed up on the scanner on Friday, whenever it was, yeah. Yeah, well, it's done it twice, so it's yeah. I just don't expect a stock that goes from oh, it's not actually been there, is it? It's been grind. It's been a grinder, so it's different. It's because it's not. It's not my true small cap play. This has just been a slow burner for the whole month of Jan. Or it goes back even further, doesn't it? It goes back to November. This play. Yeah. No, I make you right on a swing trade. It's not. Yeah, this is not a normal small cap play. What's that got this? Always get that wrong. SMCI. Do, 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 do. Wow, that's a beautiful play. That. They even gave me something this morning, did it? Wow, I must have scraped something out of that, man. That is like a black side small cap pop, isn't it? That. Um, I think it is. Like the difference for me is when small caps. Is that what I said earlier, which was the what was did my stream did my trade the pull stream go live on here? Did not the use on it, but did you see it on there? Was it actually streamed? I saw Hanish on there, so I was just presuming it was. I didn't see you on there today. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so yeah, I think I do agree with you, but I've traded pre-market a few of these and just because that's where it's moving, right? Instant gratification, it is, right? It is very efficient the way they operate. Although people would say the exact opposite and say the exact opposite because pre-market isn't efficient because of the liquidity. And yeah, I haven't been able to get out. Like the trade looks perfect, but just got caught. I got caught on one of them live on stream, but that was halts. But the pre-market is kind of very similar for me. It's where it runs so fast and turns on a dime is like you've got to always you can't get that market order in right to get out. You've always got to get out on the bid or get out on the ask, get out on the bid, get out on the ask on the other side of it. So yeah, that's what I'm finding at the moment is when these plays set up and this is in session like EBS has done, that's a nice play to take. That's how I like to play it. But when it's pre-market, hey, you got to start trading it. You know, they finish at 5 a.m. pretty much, don't they? They're run. You know, you're looking for the short at 5 a.m. because the run up has been from 4 a.m. up, and they don't last much longer. That's 10:30, 11. What was the pre-market one? So 1 second. VTYX had to go pre-market. Yeah, I think for me at the minute it's that supernova time, and I'm so used to analyzing these on the short side that yeah, to me that's a perfect short play there. It's literally done everything it should do, all the levels, except it's been doing whatever everything's been going like supernova, and it's like I've almost got to bring that 80-20 rule down for the past 6 weeks because it is an 80. It's been like 50% of the time benchmark 2 has failed, and you need to reverse it straight off because then you're just playing into, you know, whatever it is. You just need to recalculate the whole level based on the bigger swing, which can be absolutely massive. But yeah, so I'm so used to shorting those levels, and what they used to do was benchmark 1. I say used to like it was years ago, but they used to just October. They used to benchmark 1 in pre-market, then a dip or just a run out of the gate up to benchmark 2, and then you can short benchmark 2 in the session. And now that's not happening. So, and plus on the prop firm on Trade the Pools live stream is everybody trades everything, right? It's yeah, so you kind of have to do a bit and as I've been doing that, I'm like, oh, you know, actually I get that they take their time throughout the day. They're not finished in minutes, which is what you like. But they play out more consistently to the rules. Yeah, but as soon as this supernova session stops, because this doesn't like the supernovas like come and go. They might not appear for another 2 years after this, to such a degree, and that's when you get your benchmark 1 in pre-market, your benchmark 2 in session, and you get a nice short on. Your best trades are 3 seconds long. You're not taking anything. Well, what you're literally. I don't know how you got to trade 3 seconds long. 3 minutes. You made me laugh. Yeah, it's not a bad shout, is it? I can't believe I'm so wired into US time at the moment. I'm kind of all over the place. I feel like I'm doing extra long days. I'm like so much analysis off the pre-market session. You're not joking, are you? Yeah, so much analysis off the pre-market session that I'm just sort of like. I then start streaming kind of on the pre-market, and then I've been going through bell to bell. That's the thing. So literally, yeah, doing the London session, futures on the futures props, and then the afternoon session on the small caps and the stocks. And yeah, by now I've just looked at the clock and I'm like, it's 5 o'clock. If anyone just had a normal job, they would be signing off by now. And yet I'm looking at it like, oh, I normally go for another 4 hours from now. Hey, Hanish, how you doing? How you doing? Right. Oh, sell side, double sell side liquidity there. Look, one held. This guy was another one. Short. Look at that. If I could trade every one of these. Oh, you can do the automation, Taquito. Sounds like you can code up a few bits. Where were you again, Taquito? Netherlands. Is it Netherlands? Oh no! Why on ABS? Why on ABS? ABS. What happened, Hanish, on ABS? Did you short early or? So I probably done. I don't know if you shorted way too early, but I probably done the same on VTYX. So I took a loss this morning on VTYX. Wasn't a massive one. It was $106. So I have learnt my lesson on, yeah, that here. Like if you talk about getting in early, the lower time frame benchmark 2, I didn't even draw the big one. So I literally, yeah, dipped in, shorted that liquidity pool, and then literally got out straight away. As soon as that just punched from here and it started going, I'm like, that's busting that liquidity pool and got out. What I should do is reverse that thing because it's clear sky above there. I should just reverse that because that is what is doing right now. Just go with it. All right, let me have a look at you. What you're doing here. I want to see what you've done. Right, ABS. So ABS was one. So you probably saw this, right? I'll see you on the other stream. But so ABS is one that's got these massive daily levels, and then I was looking for an indication of the 2-minute levels, which it popped up against. So what are you saying here? CPOP. All right, let me have a look here. So Anish, you shorted way too early, but then got in short at 308. Well, so you added to your position at 308 because that's a good short. So you got some of it back. Where was your way too early though? You shorted at 213. At 213. All right. Was you using these wicks here as a reason to short that area? What did you see? What did you see here? Just a run up and a rejection, or bear 180 kind of thing? Right. These wicks are liquidity switch ons. If you get them around 8 o'clock, 8:30, look, they're just liquidity switch ons. They're machines coming on. And as much as they can be used a little bit, they're not worth a trade. They might be worth knowing. No, they're not real. They're real on your P&L. If you're in a trade, some brokers filter them out, but if you see it on who's on oh my god, Trade Zero, and on the prop firm they work through. But yeah, it's not so I say it's not real. If you're in a position, your P&L will go whack whack whack. You won't be able to get you out of your trade when that happens. Well, it's very unlikely you'll be able to clear out your trade with the amount of shares that you want to clear out of when that happens. And if you're with a broker where you literally can, if you can limit order up there, then by all means just play that range, because that range is calculated. So it's calculated like all the rest. So but it's not a good level to draw as pre-market highs. So if I'm taking that, what is this candle here? 758. Yeah, I'd normally use these. I'd ignore that completely, really. But 758, 2 minutes too. It probably is a switch on. I saw this one this morning, and as it spiked up, I thought, oh Jesus, what? It's 8 a.m. already. But actually, it was 7:58, and I thought, oh, 2 minutes early. And then I saw this, and then I'm like, yeah, okay. But yeah, they all pretty much do it, isn't it? What else was I looking at? Was it Luna or over? I was looking at look, 8 o'clock. It is not real. You need to ignore those candles and just so your price action was this and continued to be that. Yeah, that's your pre-market action. That's how you should view it. This channel, whatever your price is doing, that thing up there. Nah. Do not set a level off that. I'm not saying a price can't come back to it. Like you could get exactly the same whip at some point on the open, for example, but the calculation would be a coincidence. The calculation would be a coincidence off here. All right, it is a pure coincidence that this would be close or this would be close. It's just switching on machines. because I don't think they can stop those providers coming on. That is their. I mean, yeah, of course, from an in-house perspective, you could filter out 8 o'clock data, but you're literally filtering out the data. But that is your market makers switching on. That is your route to the market switching on. Before that, you've got a limited route in on your ECN, and as those ECNs switch on, that's what causes it. It's just it's just liquidity is being provided, and that is it's just a switch on. So you can't ignore. You could filter it out, but you could argue it's not right to. Yeah, so when I say it's not real, it is. Sorry, I don't know. Yeah, so some brokers don't draw it on the chart. So some brokers do not draw that on the chart. I'll come out no worries. But yeah, all I mean is if you are in the trade, so say you are in here. So say you're doing perfectly well and you have come into this trade, you've seen the high, you've waited for the sell side liquidity and you're short. And now you've got your stair steppers coming down and it's all good, right? And your target, let's just say, is 12.55. So what you're either going to have, right? So you can't have a market stop. So normally when we put stops in, they're market stops. They're not limit orders. They're market stops. So then they don't appear on on level 2. But if your stop was there above that high and you're coming down, pre-market, you can't do that, right? You can't put a stop in. You can only put a limit order in. If you did put a limit order in, that potentially could get taken out if your size was small, because these are literally just kind of like tiny positions flicking up and down. So if your size was small and it was a limit order stop you specifically put in, if you had just sold with no stop and you were trying to get out on the bid or ask at some point, then leave it, because it continues to do exactly what it done before. So you can just ignore that. Just take it out of the equation. Literally, how would we do that? Just that. Oh, it won't work. I can't bring it to that. Yeah, ignore it, because you just come back into the flow of data that you've already got. So yeah, if you're a pre-market trader, don't trade that. You just don't let it affect your psyche, because you will go, it's gone 500 against me. Then it's gone, oh, it's 200 in my favor, 500 against me, 200 in my favor, and then just it'll come back to whatever your profit was in the first place if you were short from here. In any case, what's it doing now? Not a lot. So EBS is what I was looking at. EBS, I don't think EBS is over, but I would rather it come down to the $2 and then play with it tomorrow, because this is kind of working. So this is the two. These are the two. When I see this, that color change there of red to green, close higher, and not necessarily the first one, but when it does it twice. So this one closes higher. They're nice trades, especially when you get that first hold of the liquidity buy side. That's beautiful. It's effectively 3 times in this case, but sometimes you don't get the lower one. You just go, you get one, and then you get another one right. I mean, we're just talking pennies, and then you get another one right at the buy side liquidity pool. Here you got it third time. How far it goes depends whether we're still front side or back side. There's no real indicator of that. You can try and do it, but ultimately you can't stop price going to the moon from here. But this is what should stop it. That's it. So if you come in here and it stops, then you got a decent sell trade on. But for every sell trade that you've got, you have to break the buy side liquidity. Works both ways. That's why it's such a hard game. For every sell side liquidity pool that there is a buy side one that you have to break, and you have to create your edge based on that. Now, knowing the levels are there and appreciating those levels are there, and not necessarily on the tape, is something you kind of have to get your head around first off. Is to say, right, I know there's sellers up here, I know there's sellers here, but in order for your short to play out, you had to break this buy side liquidity right here at 272. That had to fail to go in your favor and pay you down to this level, and now it's deciding what to do. Similarly, if we now come up to this area, which could be a good sell area at 278, even 282, right up to that area, then you'd want to take some off at 260 because you've got a buy side liquidity pool. You can see how thin it is, but it doesn't mean it won't work. And then you can find a decent trade to take at the right time of day, which is generally after lunch for these small caps, because that's when it makes its decision. So we could trap between these two levels all over lunch. What's the time now? 12:30. So for the next hour, we could trap between this, and then by 2 o'clock, we could dump literally from $2.50 to $2. You'd get 35 cents, 40 cents out of that. Or you could go and break 285 and just go to 3 because there's another sell side liquidity still valid. Or if you bust 3, you can continue to go. And that's the don't know. But knowing they're there at least means you could add a bit more size. If you see the right thing and confirm up at 280, add more size, and then you come down. But take some off, because you would always... Small cap traders are always expecting what happens the most. So let's go back and have a couple of... Have I got any from yesterday on here? Look. As small cap traders... Look, and this is what I actually drew on before it happened. I drew this on in literally pre-market when it was there and said, what I'd like to see is a double top, or come back to what I was drawing on at the time, was this. Yeah, and at session highs, you can't do a double. The liquidity pool can get broken for a double top, especially when you've just touched the benchmark when the top of it's up here, right? So sometimes you get then another go at it. But this one literally gapped down. Did it hold down? Yeah. So you got halted, then gapped down on that halt, and then we carried on. And this is kind of where we're at now. Yeah. So with what I've just explained to you on EBS is here. Yeah. At that moving area, as the color change comes up, you get it again. There's your color change entry bar. Another pop. And then it's kind of like, well, okay. And then it does it again. But what is it actually doing? And what is it doing? You just bring it back down to the next low, to the high, and you can see it's only paying to the sell side liquidity. So these are actually better sells than they are buys. But these are retail buys that I'm tracking, not institutional sell side when they're coming back to grab liquidity. So that's the difference. So retail buyers in expecting, they don't know it's a benchmark 2. That's a pre-market high, right? That was tested on the open. Fine, it didn't break. Aggressive shorts are going to be in there. That's what caused that any case. So benchmark comes into play. You can go back and test it, but we don't. This one holds. So once, twice, 3 times. That's a beautiful trade short. Where would you take some off? On the buy side. So this, until you break that, you are trapped between both of them. It's not to say that's not a good short. It is. It's just take some off. If you've just got in at 117 and it's come down to a 95 cents, take some off. Then leave some position on, or add after the break of the buy side liquidity pool. Now, I don't know whether that did come back for some more or not, or whether that did play out. But yeah, so then as small cap traders, we expect the all day fade. We love it. That's what we want always as shorts. We want to be in on the all day fade, you know, which you do get. But half the time, these things are just like C-Pop's probably doing it. So yesterday, we got it. Double topped into it again. Don't even know if we... Just missed that, but double topped at the highs. There's a short on there and confirmation under those stair steppers, so you can short. Then kind of retest that level. You can short. Now you expect the all day fade, but we come down. We just don't hit 490. We hit 510, so we was 20 cents off. Then we go for it again. And that's the don't know. And the only thing that can keep you on side or off side of that is the liquidity pools. Because for every one of these moves down, you hold buy side. You hold sell side pools. Do they all work or don't quite get there? It doesn't matter either way. If it doesn't quite get there, it's there, it's holding, you've got new lows. You can just continue to keep tracking it down until the point that you fail the most recent one. And you can keep bringing it along. Yeah, this one looks like it fails a little bit, not quite. Doesn't put new lows in, then this one fails. That's your indication that you can go all the way back up. And that's when I start using a little bit of benchmarks as well, which dictates whereabouts that should go. And it's just up there. It's just off the chart up here. But even if you took this chunk here, right, from 580 to 720, you should be happy with that. Yeah, because I would always target that 775 in the middle there. That would just be a touch, basically, if you got to pay that out. Yeah, so I play small caps. Anyway, what's C-Pop doing right now? Because yes, C-Pop's doing it again effectively. That benchmark, if I can grab it, is still there. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times it's rejected off it. Excuse me. 4 times it's rejected off it. And it looks like it wants another go. But what would I do here? The same thing it's done the previous 3 times. Doesn't mean it'll work again. But I'd have sell side liquidity up here. Actually, one time didn't go for it, right? The sell side liquidity there. What have we got to be careful of is the buy side liquidity. You've got to know it's there. Even if you shorted that aggressive candle, the reason you've stopped is because of this buy side liquidity. So that up move, you can't say is over yet, because firstly, this hasn't been attempted, so you don't know that it's holding, or you know that this has been attempting, and everyone so far this morning has worked. Everyone. There's another one there that worked. They just don't quite come back. This one from the open to that move there, done, in. take this one, there, in. Take that one, in, not quite, and then we broke above. So this was an earlier indication where I was thinking, yeah, okay, that's CPOP's done for the day. But as soon as it can do that, then it's back, it's game back on. And then every single one holds, including even the most volatile run yet has still held at the minute. So you can trap between here over lunch, and then when one breaks, you're either going even more supernova because 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. So if that breaks now, it probably is going to supernova. But ultimately, there's as much chance right now of getting trapped, and then one breaks, and then you're off again. And as soon as, so if we done this through lunch, and then when after lunch, whoop, broke here, boom, that would be a trade for me. Confirmation up there, that would be a trade, and the break of this would be a trade. So put the trade on, take some off in case the buy side liquidity holds and you go supernova, right? So take some off in case that happens. If that doesn't happen and you break here, then you can add it back on, or or just add, and then 680 you're looking for 4. But this is going to chop you up, I think. In between here, you're best off to wait. CPOP. Oh, I keep doing that. So sound group. This has done it again, isn't it, or not? Why do I remember call sound group? Let's have a look at 30 minutes. No, it hasn't. Okay. So sound group pre-market benchmark 2. Is there one above it? Oh, only because it's a bit washy-washy down here. So yeah, so it held this one. Yeah, this is not a definitive level. It's just I wasn't sure. It was a bit messy on the spread down the bottom. So, but this one has kind of told us what it is. Nothing going on. We had CPOP that has done what it's done for the past 4 attempts. Four attempts. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4 buy side liquidity pools. Oh, just throw me off to meds. 1, 2, 3, 4 has just done again. Buy side liquidity pools holding and stacking. This one held that time. This one held those 2 times. Yeah, so that is where we're at. So right now, actually, oh no, it's still valid because it hasn't gone to the, yeah, so this is still valid. So right now, trapped between these 2, it come off. I want it to go and take a look back at, yeah, so this is what is been happening, right? So these are the 2 options. I'm advising not to short yet, but hold on for see if we can't touch that. But either way, you're aggressive or you're not, and then drop, because this is what I see is the difference between what did I say earlier? Difference between what's ranging and a consolidation. Yeah, I'm not feeling consolidation on this right now. This is ranging. Ranging can happen for ages. There's no value to your trade. Consolidation does add value to your trade and conviction to your trade. It looks a bit messy, doesn't it? It looks a bit messy. Yeah, so C pop. Other than that, sound group is having a go with benchmark 2. Where's its swing? So it's in its sell side. So be careful on the long until that sell side pull has broken. So short one. A little bit deeper would be nice. 650. It's currently 50 cents away from that, but nevertheless, double top into the pull. If you close beneath the stair steppers, you can go long. That is negated. Each one of these is held. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're the ones that we were just drawing. This is the most recent one that is held. Let's have a look. Yep, that held. Your newest one's going to be almost the same, actually. That's what you got. Sell side. Sell side on. Nothing else calling out for a while now. Janex. Janex, that's been on last week, wasn't it? Janex. Oh no, J. No, it was no, it wasn't Janex. Yeah, that's nearly done. Let's see. So it's that is a key level, actually. So these guys have put some woolly news out that they're going to have a meeting. They're going to have a meeting. They're going to have a Zoom. So I guess everyone's wondering why they're going to have a Zoom. Is it good news? Not enough to get anything halted though. So sell side up there, trying to bust but holding. Buy side, tight. Back to back. There's not even a gap between the two. there will be a new one to draw off this high if we come down, but the question is, are we going to break it? So look at it 1 minute. So there is 1 minute to draw. Get micro, get real micro. So where we're at right now, one there, and then the new one of war. Literally, what's just happening? So whether this continues to go down, let's just say it's there. There on your retest. So just closing below those, where's your VWAP's down there at 1280. So moving averages, retails look to get in here as they did here. The lesser volume. So that there's a consolidation there. That's consolidation, not a range. Tight. Keeping the highs. And then rips. That helps. Ranges don't. So this is now negated. I'm now looking at these two. So negated doesn't mean it can't hold backside, by the way. It just means there's no more liquidity in there. So therefore, if it wants to get more sell side, it'd have to go up here. If it wants to get more buy side, it's got to come down here. If it wants to get anywhere else, it has to break one of these. But the sell is on and confirmed if you like to short small caps. It's another little pop there, 14, 13.46. Let's see what can happen on this. We'll put it on the radar. Down there of EBS. What's EBS doing? EBS. Buyers hold there. Let's see if you can get. Well, there's a stock that done this the other day. It literally, you would expect this to crack, and it just literally went like that for 3 days in this tight little range, and then ran up. So there's higher levels on this stock. So, like I said, fancy 2. I'd rather see this crack, bang down to 2, and then think about whether or not we're going to get some long side. Oh, that beautiful tester trade, look. I know someone who's got paid on that. The guy that shorted that high there. Have a look at the NQ, see what that's been doing. Oh, well, you can never type in just NQ, can you? You have to go NQ, exclamation mark, whatever. Right, so NQ, seriously, and new lows of day by the looks of it. So this is a daily. That's just what I've been looking. That's what everyone's been looking at. Is this channel here breaking? On the daily, don't think I've drawn in daily. I was looking at the 2 hour, was I? Let's draw it in on a daily. Because that's going to be... So on the daily, this is the first sell side liquidity that held for not a new high. All right. So this one, for example, here. So from here to here, come up, then broke new high. And that's what it's been doing all the time. Hence, that's what it has to do to continue an uptrend, because that's the definition. So comes in, acknowledges, touches down, works out for a day trade there for sure. Or, over a course of a couple of days, you got paid. Definitely. But ultimately, dunk, and off it goes again. So that's what it's been doing all the time. And this is the first time we put in a new low off of that swing. Come all the way back to do its job. Didn't look at this one, which is aggressive, because it come down to here and didn't hold that channel and come back to get it. It just went down. Didn't hold yesterday's, just come down. So the buy side though, the buyer side resides where we are. So that's going to be a pain to look at. That's why I don't draw the dailies on. Don't normally draw the dailies on because they look crap to look at. But yeah, so when you kind of drop down, yeah, so we're getting deeper into this level. This was a benchmark, so I still feel like this should give us some value to the upside. It did here once. This is a second look. We've now gone a little bit lower, but ultimately it is still a benchmark. It's not like the liquidity clears off once it's been used, whereas the benchmarks calculation stays. But yeah, each one of these swings to the downside held. Even if you redraw all of these, once that one's held, the other ones will be holding. Hold, a little bit lower. This one, hold. So they're all good sells this morning off of these levels. And then your next one is here. So we'll see what we can get. Aggressive buyers on any other time frame, what would they be doing? Yeah, I'm sure there'd be aggressive buyers buying this on the NQ. Not sure I'm one of them right now, though. Surprised we got that out of it today, to be honest. But yeah. So I think, what else we got on here? Yeah, I think I'm going to take a break and see what comes later with the NVIDIA release. Don't think there's anything else on I want to really look at, because I just think things are meandering. Yeah, so I'll pop back a little bit later. We want to wait for those NVIDIA earnings, so we'll see where it's at in the post market. We'll see who's on later on, and in the meantime, I'm going to take a break. So I'll see you guys a little bit later on. No worries, Henish. See you later, mate. Let's keto.